Hello everyone, welcome. There's an awful lot of nonsense talked about marketing. So the reason I call this marketing for non-marketing directors is I'd like to take you through the process that we've been through in the last 12 months to get to where we are without any of the bullshit that marketers tend to speak. So that's why I've called it that. So start off with anybody, any idea the average attention span online per day?
15 seconds.
15 seconds. 3 seconds. That's good. 15. Anybody else? It's 8 seconds. 8 seconds. That's 1 second less than a goldfish. If you think of the amount of time that we spend agonizing over our marketing and all the words and all the pictures, people don't care. If you start from that point of view, that's your starting point, then you're about halfway there. People don't care about what we're doing. They don't care about, they don't read adverts. I didn't read adverts, did you? So I'm going to take us through a little exercise. We've got 8 seconds. I'm going to show you a picture, and then I'm going to ask you a question about that picture. Okay, so we've got 8 seconds. Let me set the timer. Not long, I promise you. 8 seconds. Okay, you ready? Go. That's it. So you probably all remember Dave, the black sheep. What about the 2 white sheep behind Dave? What were they called? Ollie. Tracy and Lucy. Okay, so why is it much more difficult to remember Tracy and Lucy than it is to remember Dave? It's because of the way our brains fire. We remember very different things because they stick out. Things that are kind of similar, or we just leave them together as them. So we don't remember them. Next question for you. How many adverts do you think we see on average, every single one of us, every day? How many adverts? Or marketing messages? Or brands?
Depends if you know.
Oh,
Depends if you know.
yes. I'm talking average.
1,000.
It's 10,000. 10,000 advertising messages or marketing messages for brands. You think about it, where you might see them. Suddenly it starts adding up. So why is this important? Well, most companies, they'll start off in life and they grow organically because they've got good network, they've got relationships, they go to events, they're great salespeople, and their marketing is there to make themselves look legit. Right? So they've had a conversation, someone will look at their website and go, oh yeah, they exist, they look fine, they look like everybody else. At a certain point, they'll think, okay, well, our sales are plateaued. We need marketing to drive growth now into new markets. It might be new territories, it might be new sectors, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, they realize now we're up against bigger competitors, bigger brands with deeper pockets, and they're running up against this guy. Okay? I don't know who you are, don't know your company, don't know your company's product, don't know what your company stands for, don't know your company's customers, I don't know, I just don't know. Now, to make sure to get this guy to know who you are and for your marketing to do that, you've got a backdrop of he's seeing 10,000 adverts a day. And if you look like everybody else, he's not going to remember you. That's the challenge. So that's where we started about a year ago. So at an 8 second look, I probably get these guys make machines for composite manufacturers. Lots of them. And they all look fairly similar to this, got a fairly similar message. So however many times we keep knocking the door and showing them the adverts, showing them the marketing. So start the process. Dolly fans? Absolutely. I love Dolly. This is a quote from Dolly. Find out who you are and do it on purpose. That was the first part of the exercise. So the first thing we did was we talked internally, not only to the board and the directors, but as many people as we could internally to find out, this is me, I wanted to find out what's the story, why are these guys special? So the interviews sort of covered our strategy, our services, culture, what customers want. And there were some things that stuck out. We were the first in the world to automate the process. Didn't pick that up on the website. David didn't say it, but that's pretty critical. We've helped customers with world first builds. So we don't just make wind blades, we make the biggest wind blades in the world that no one has ever been able to manufacture. That's pretty cool. Our machines are incredibly reliable. There are some in production that were installed 20 years ago, they're still going. Great story. They give you total control over the entire process for quality and integrity. Well, if they were the first to automate the process, then they've been doing that a long time, so they know what works and what doesn't. And you can reduce costs, waste, and production failures. That was just from talking to a few people internally. Then we started talking to customers. Let's get a 360 view of this. So this is what Airbus said. They're the Mercedes. So if you're the Mercedes in what you do, that reflects on your pricing, this perceived value. So, and it does actually. But again, I wouldn't have picked that up from the website. It looked like an NHS equipment supplier. Yeah. Didn't look like Mercedes. There are many other suppliers, but for R&D work, their machines are brilliant. They give me complete control over the process. The interface is great. The system is open, so we can configure it ourselves. Now, again, understanding these guys a lot. We then looked at how the competition position themselves. So this is where they are in the world. And then these are the kind of tropes that they use, like we're just a manufacturer, we've got nothing special about us. Scale, we're the leaders, so these are the biggest in the market. Our expertise, our service, innovation, quality, aerospace, the usual kind of things that companies talk about themselves. Now there is some white space here. We could say, okay, well, we're going to slot here because there's some white space here. But if we did that, we would then just be part of the crowd. So what we decided is that we're going to sit outside this box to be truly memorable. We're not going to follow anybody. So we had to think about what that is. Then. If we're not going to sit in there, what is it? What makes us special? So we had a workshop, took all that information. We explored potential positions against the white space, resolve any deltas of opinion. You know, some people think, well, no, this is most important about us. No, those kind of conversations. Confirm the current sector, product and service proposition. So what exactly are we offering these people? What's the value that we're giving? Potential future service expansion and partners under the positioning, current mission, vision and values for the fit, and current tone of voice. So a lot, we covered a lot. The output of that is we put the brand on a page, just a one-page reference point. So from the details that I've just shown you from those interviews, you should see that this is kind of a logical place to end up. Vision to revolutionise the composite industry through our belief there's always a better way. That's the thing that keeps driving us. We'll never rest from that. There's always a better way. I'm pushing the boundaries. Groundbreaking results, simple to use, quality. Giving customers ultimate control of the process. The essence, we share a pioneering spirit. So pioneering is the position. It's outside of that, but it's really important. We invented the process. We want to attract customers who are trying to do things with composites that's never been done before. We want those challenges. So you get world-class composite manufacturing performance, quality, then some reasons to believe, well, we changed the game, world first client projects, a bit about our personality, and then our values. The number of these value statements that I've seen, which are, no one remembers them. No one ever remembers, just keep them simple. Be approachable, ask questions and only. Okay. That gives me a much clearer picture of things. Much clearer. But it's really hard when you're working in it. You can't articulate that, so it takes us an external pair of eyes. But we're happy with that now. So the next phase, and that took 5-6 months to get to that position. to do it thoroughly. So then we started thinking about the plan, how we're going to roll this out, not the bare bones now. So the first, most important step was to hire the genius Anna over here, who's the senior marketing manager, who is managing all of this stuff through, because I can't do it on my own. And then we developed together the marketing plan, so budgets, ROI targets, the messaging for all of the marketing, the channels that we're going to use, the formats, whether we're going to do what we're going to do internally, which agencies do we need to go to, and then how we're going to measure it, the KPIs, and then obviously as we're moving forward, refine and optimize it. So that's the plan. This is the detail once we've set the strategic direction. So an awful lot of documentation, really, just the detail, the grunt work of the detail. And the reason that this is important, all of this stuff that I'm just about to show you, is that as we go through this and we start to enter the market and our marketing starts to kick in, inevitably people internally and they go, oh, I don't like that, or is that right? If we write it down and everybody signed it off, then this is the stuff to refer back to, because otherwise we'll lose focus. The most important thing is we've got to be really consistent with stuff. So
So on that point,
yeah,
people hate change.
Yeah,
and that's probably been our biggest. We've worked on this way. That's what I want to be able to change it. That's been quite a big challenge for me.
yeah. So in broad strokes, the business is cut into two halves. Direct customers, so aerospace and wind, these are the big projects. These are where the customer comes to us and says, we want to do this massive thing, we've never done it before. So we're not just selling machines, we're selling the expertise, and it'll cost them 300, 400, 500, big stuff, chunky stuff. We want to attract them to us. Then we've got the standard machines, and we sell them through distributors. So they're for sort of marine and general manufacturing. So we know who we're targeting, and then we start to think about, okay, how many of these do we need to hit our targets? Ideal customer profile, huge amount of detail here, but this is going to really, really help when we start creating articles and advertising to know their pain points. What do they need? How can we address their needs? All of that kind of stuff. I'll put the appropriate features, everything again on a page for that sector, so that anybody working on it, whether it's an external agency or internally, got going to say. So that's the typical company we want to profile, and then who are the people actually buying? And in B2B, it's never just one person. There'll be the domain expert, the person who understands composite manufacturing, but there'll be purchasing, there'll be the VP of operations, all kinds of different influences in that decision-making process. For each one of them, we create an opposite. Then we set out our objectives. Okay, what's our revenue ambition? How we're going to generate demand, thought leadership, sales and marketing infrastructure, all of the stuff that we need to do to be successful. Set that on the page. Then this is a very top level view of the plan. So this is the building bit, just talked about. And then this is the flow out bit. So we've got brand awareness. This is to generate awareness to stimulate sales into the channel. We've also got channel marketing programs as well, but also to generate awareness of the brand in the VPs, the CEOs, so that when they come to make the decision, our brand is top of mind. And then we've got activation. So this is direct sales, so account-based marketing. This is where we think we want to get into these 10 companies. Let's find all of the contacts that we can on LinkedIn. Let's connect with them, and then let's send them articles, thought leadership, so that again we're top of mind when they come to us. The important bit about this is managing internally our expectations of how successful this is going to be and when, because brand awareness is going to take about 6 months before you start to see any influx. But the important thing is that this stuff here is aimed at only 5% of the market, because there's only about 5% of the buying audience that are in market at any one time. So this stuff is aimed at priming people when they do come in market, they come to us, they're on their shortlist. This is for fishing for the people that are actually in market buying at that point. So the two work hand in hand. So after about 6 months, which we're just hitting now, you should start to see inflections equalize it. So end to end, that's 6 months to actually set all the foundations right in the strategy, then 6 months to actually start doing it before we're seeing anything. We can do short-term stuff and get leads, but it's not going to build lasting value to the company. As soon as you switch it off, and you're competing against everybody else in the market who's fishing for that 5%. So if you're an FD thinking about it, this stuff is easy to back because I can see the ROI in the short term. You account for that in your P&L. This is about future cash flow because this is about the entire market, priming the entire market. So this is about what's that look like 5 years hence in our future cash flows. That's important, how you account for this. Okay, so that's the detail. So this is where we were. This is where we got to. So we've gone from a manufacturing makes machines, composite manufacturing, to a pioneering composite manufacturing solutions company. Advanced machines, expert processes for your manufacturing successes. Differentiates us. Just it talks about that account-based marketing. We are targeting through LinkedIn engineers. We've always talked to engineers, but we're also targeting very, very senior people. So, you know, the president of Boeing Deutschland, GKN Aerospace, vice president of Spirit. These are senior people, and this is their world. It's very corporate. It's very slick. Okay, so we need to act like we belong here, and our balancing act is to do that authentically, so that it's not coming across as marketing, and that we still appeal to the engineers, but we're also taking our place at this table where there are billions of pounds being invested in the future of flight. We also then looked at, well, Anna looked at all of our collateral. This is where we were. It's kind of a mishmash of stuff, and no consistency. Made it much more consistent. Now we look like a Mercedes. It's consistent. It's tidy. You know, if you're going to a manufacturer or an engineer, the last thing you want is to walk into a manufacturing space which is untidy, because, you know, it says, okay, these guys have not got tidy minds. So you want someone who comes across like this. And I know it's kind of just design, but it's all about impression. It's all about this stuff goes in psychologically, and it all adds up to an impression of who these guys are, why we should work with them, what value they add, what kind of company they are, what attitude they have. Because this is the stuff that is going to touch them first. It's no longer a hello, here's a sales conversation, given them a website. It's the second. This is the first impression, and it counts massively. So we talked about, so that's all the kind of marketing stuff, all the nuts and bolts. Then we start thinking about advertising for the brand. Okay, so this is for the whole of market. This is the direct stuff. This is through the channel, and there are some publications that everybody reads. They're the kind of Bibles. Composite Worlds is one of them. Now, these are the kind of standard adverts that are in there. A sea of awfulness. You know, I mean, look. Better with braided solutions enabling high rate, low cost. Whoopie-doo. I mean, it's just saying nothing. It's that was what we did, and it all looks the same. So who are you going to choose? Who are you going to remember? So I'm going to show you some mock-ups. We are actually flowing these out now, so that there are some real examples. But this is just our kind of conceptual stuff to really punch us through. So this is one for those who don't think it can be done. Introducing the world's first single mold helicopter fuselage. built with our machinery and know-how by helicopters in their quest for the best. Simple, punchy, memorable. Okay, for the elements. Tips of these wind blades travel at supersonic speeds, built with our machinery and know-how. Vestas designed them to withstand everything the elements can throw at them in their quest for the best. Simple stuff. You know, it doesn't take much to read it, but it goes in, you remember it. For the control freaks, when you need world-class composite manufacturing performance, quality and efficiency in your quest for the best. For the perfectionists. If it's okay, this isn't for you. If okay is good enough, this isn't for you. Sorry. The planet, built to handle Elian's recyclable thermoplastic resin. World-class solution for our industry's quest for sustainability. Finally, for the pioneers, there's no map for where you're going. They'll help you push the boundaries of composite manufacturing in your quest for the best. In the series of 4 or 5, 6 ads, you kind of get a very distinct impression of who these guys are. And that's important because we've only got 8 seconds and there's 20,000 other adverts. That's where we would be. So that's the mantra of what we do. Bold, different, consistent, persistent. As I said, we are getting results beginning to come through, and on most of the KPIs that we're looking at, we're beginning to see some upticks, which is where we want to be. So we'll keep monitoring that, and if we see each other another 6 months, we'll be telling that success story. But I believe, I know that we've got all the foundations in there to do. And that's it. That's the story. Hopefully that makes sense. Marketing one makes sense to you. You got any questions?